How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 25 called Calmsden Farm. And it's here, it's finally here. Oh man, I loved Calmsden Farm for FS22. It is now back here for FS25, and we have our second official map for all platforms, and I could not be more excited. Oh, I loved this map in 22, and I'm going to love it in 25. I cannot wait. So let's go ahead and start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, Welcome to Calmsden Farm. This map is based in Gloucestershire, UK. Customizable map. Remove farm buildings and place them again. Removable hedges, gates, fences, etc. Replica of real-life farm and surroundings. Real-life PDA map. Custom lighting, animations, bird flying across the map, pedestrians, etc. Custom textures with parallax mapping. Over 50 HD new models made by myself. 36 fields with missions, small, medium, huge, transport missions, deadwood, log carting. 5 sell points and BGA sawmill, etc. Seasons visuals, summer barbecues, mowers, washing lines, leaves on roads, snowmen, puddles, etc. Collectibles, UK license plates, custom grass textures and UK foliage, loads of custom sounds, custom wind effects. I hope y'all like this map. There are no mods required for this map. This map was created by Oxygendavid and is 703.64 megabytes to download. It is a big, chunky map, but it is worth every megabyte of space. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map, starting with this is the map. You start out almost dead center in the map, right where your starting home is, your little sleep trigger is. You start out by owning, let's go over here, farmlands number 1, 5, 10, 24, 26, 36, and 38. 1 is the kind of periphery area that kind of includes some of the sell points, these kind of outer banks and all that area. 5, which is a canola field right there. 10 is a grass field right there. 24 is down here, and that is the BGA and the additional selling locations, the sell stations. We've got 26, which is up here, which is a grass field. 36, which is up here, right here. This is another grass field out behind your cow barn. And 38 right over here, again, another grass field. So you get a whole bunch of grass fields. Everything that you own that has product in it is ready to harvest. You can buy all areas in the map, and field prices do vary. And it's actually relatively cheap for a lot of the area around here. So we have a couple of grass fields here. We got one here, 44,000. We got another one here for 27,000. One here, 37,000, 33,000, 48,000. You go a little bit bigger, right across the street from the farm, 52,000. We'll go right here, 52,000 again. Here, 206,000, so this is a really big strip of land here. And then you start making your way into some of the fields, some of the smaller fields over across the farm here. You got 134,000, 126,000, and then it goes really big from there. 1.1 million, 800,000. Let's go check out some of the big ones. This is a big field right here, 1.3, almost 1.4 million. And then I think this one's the biggest one here, 60 acres, $1.4 million. So you got a real big range, but you get some big fields. One thing I do want to point out too is I need to back out of there. We do have a custom crop. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see linseed is a custom crop. I don't see any that's planted at the moment, but that is something that's not a part of normal maps. This is specific to this map. Let's see, if we scroll down to animals, we do start out with a cow shed, as you can see there. There are contracts available on this map. You do start out with a couple of production points, the biogas plant and the sawmill, which as far as I'm aware are the only two production points on this entire map to start out with. So everything else is going to be your doing to put in. And collectibles are available on this map. We scroll over to the statistics. You'll see at the bottom right hand corner there, collectibles collected 0 of 25. Now, if we take a look at mods specific to this map, starting out at the buy menu, there's nothing here. There's no mods and DLCs listed for us to take a look at, so nothing in the buy menu, but in the build menu, we do have quite a bit tucked away in here. Starting under buildings and sheds, we scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll start to see here where it says, down at the bottom, Service Shed, Calmsden Farm. These ones that are tagged with Calmsden Farm, these are the ones that are specific to this map. If we scroll up, you'll see these ones here don't have that tag to them. Those are not specific. Those are base games. We go over to silos. We do have a couple down here as well. As you can see, we got the liquid fertilizer tank right there, as well as the bunker silo. Going over, there's nothing under silo extensions, nothing under constructibles, nothing under containers, nothing under tools, but under farmhouses, we scroll all the way down, we do have a Calmsden Farm farmhouse right there. Under productions, there is nothing under productions, nothing under animals, under decorations, and fences. We scroll all the way down to the bottom. You will see a couple of fences that are specific to this map right here, Calmsden Farm, down at the bottom corner there. Nothing under lights, others, or decorations. And then lastly, under the landscaping tab, if we scroll to the painting, we get a whole bunch of different swatches here that we have that we can select. And normally in base games, we have either 10 or 12, depending on the map, from Giants. This one has 36 separate painting swatches that you can use. So you get a bunch of details on this map that you don't get on any other map. Nothing under trees and nothing under plants. Now, we are at our starting farm. Technically, we're at the sleep trigger, which is right behind me here. So we'll go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment before we kind of take off and look at the rest of things. So if we look under the start menu and scroll over to vehicles, starting here, we have the Agco 1500 weight. We have the Agramass POV 5XL plow, the Amazon ZATS 3200 fertilizer spreader, the Albert bale spike. We have the Albert universal bucket, the Claas Avion 450, the Claas Quadrant 5300 FC, Claas Varios 620, the Case IH 1000. We got a Case IH Puma 185 CVX drive, the FarmTech Super Cease 800 slurry spreader. We got the Horsch Credo 3, which is a power harrow. We've got the Horsch Versa Cedar, the John Deere 7R 270. We have the John Deere Pickup 1800 weight, the Krone Vendro 820 Highland. This is a tedder. We've got the K-Brand ProLander 7500 cultivator, the K-Brand RA 142, that is the forage wagon, the Crampy Big Body 750S trailer, the Lizard MKS 8 liquids tanker, the Massey Ferguson MF 5713S, the Nardi N40BX header trailer, and the Quickie Q4M front loader, as well as the Samaz XT390, the Samaz Z2 840H, which is a windrower, and that is everything. So you start out with a pretty decent selection of starting equipment, not too shabby whatsoever. Let's go ahead and go into third person here. Sleep trigger right here behind me. And around the back side here, we do have a wardrobe trigger right here. Now we have to go through the front, hop the fence, because the fence does not open. Go ahead and pan out just a little bit. Coming up this little driveway right here. So that was basically part one of the farm. This is part two, and I kind of categorize these in different parts because they're kind of spread out into different sections of the map. So just to distinguish them. Over here, we have a bunker silo. If you walk into it, you'll see the fill level with chaff, 0. Over here, we have a cow barn with room for 50 cows. We have our slurry trigger right here. We have our input for our animals here. Behind the gate, directly in front of me, that is, I believe, the manure trigger. Here we have our feed trigger on this side. And for the cow barn, we'll come back to the rest of this, where this tanker is, if I can see it, yeah, so you can kind of see it hidden in there. That is the milk trigger for the cow barn. We have a silo right here. We can open the door in order to be able to access it. For the inputs and the outputs are right here, and a fuel tank right over here. Got a bit of storage tucked away in here. A couple of our bits of equipment are tucked away in here. Some more equipment over here. Some more storage. Very, very nice. And now we're going to head off to part 3 of our farm. We do own this giant grass field beside us here, as well as this grass field here. There are quite a few differences between the 25 version and the 22 version. One of which is this field here. That whole field used to be the cow pasture. It used to be connected directly to all the cows, so they would just kind of wander into the middle of the field there. So it's just that's one of the biggest differences I noticed is the kind of animal system. The animal pens are drastically different, but you know, the map has definitely been increased for its level of detail and just all the little 25 little touches that are available to this game that was not available to 22. Now here is the third section of the farm. You can see just how much distance we covered, and like they're disconnected from each other. We have a liquid fertilizer tank right here, and we can put into it just like the diesel tank on the other portion of the farm. Some more of our equipment stored away here, including a couple tractors. We'll come around this side here. Another fuel tank directly in front of me. If we walk over to this door, we have a little bit of storage in here, as well as our harvester and another silo. But this is just the output of the silo. If we come over here, you can hear I believe that's the dryer whirling. If we open this door here, this is the input for that silo. So very, very nice. And tucked away in here, some more storage, as well as a repair trigger right here. You can see that kind of expands out to this area here. So nice little shop area. So now I'm going to head back over to the tractors. Actually, I probably could just go this way because the gate's right over here. Grab me a tractor, and then we'll start heading around to the rest of the map. Now, there are going to be some pretty big gaps in between several places around the map. So we'll go ahead and hop in here. Let's go ahead and get into the first person. Third person. And here we're going to make a left. And follow this road in this direction, heading kind of east northeast. Now you'll see that the canopy of trees is very much intrusive, very much the same as FS22, to where the trees were right on top of you. You know, almost better served to be in first person throughout most of the country roads here. But just completely up to you, of course. But I will drive there in first person because it's just a little bit easier to make my way through. You have to take this all the way down to the very end of this road before you actually get to the next point of interest. And it's starting to come into view on the map here. Just beyond this last field here to my left. Right over here, pop this open, and right here is where we'll come to a stop. This is the shop area. I love all the detail that's right here in the shop. Repair trigger right over here, and shop trigger right here. Hop back in the tractor real quick. Oh, I forgot to turn that off, and I forgot to turn that off. Let's do that real quick. And turn off the auto engine start. There we go. All right. So now that won't turn off anymore. Now, starting directly in front of me this sell point here is the farm store bales sell point, and you can always tell where there's a bales sell point versus a regular grain sell point. As you can see, the icon for this is slightly different than the rest. So it's got an actual picture of a bale as well as it being marked with these kind of bales along the side of it there. If it's just a normal grain sell point, it's going to be a dump trailer and no bales beside it. Just like this one in front of us, this is the Farm Store Bay 2 sell point. And then coming around the back, the Farm Store Bay 1 sell point. Oh, and I shouldn't read and drive at the same time. So we'll come out this way. Look at all the tractors and equipment here. It just looks busy. It looks very much like there's stuff going on here. And now we have the pedestrian foot traffic and all that. It's just an additional touch of detail for this map. Can go into first person real quick. And coming up here, gonna make a right. And we're gonna follow this road up to the north here. You can just see the ever expanse in some of these fields. Like, some of these fields are absolutely massive. Tons of grass work to be done. And because you own very large swaths of the map, you're not going to be hurting for things to do or products to get. Tons of grass fields at your disposal right at the very beginning. So you're going to have tons and tons and tons of product to be able to do with for cows, for making silage, for sheep. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Tons of stuff you can do here. Big viable area to my right for a big grass field. This used to be like an actual constructible area to where it had a little sign saying, you know, go ahead and buy this lot, like a lot for sale kind of thing. Coming up here, we're starting to see things coming in view. All right. So come to a stop here. This is the sawmill. This is one of the 2 productions on the map, and this you do own, just like the other one. And you can see, if I walk up to this, instead of buying it, it goes right into the owned items, and you can start putting product in and be good to go. We have our sell trigger right here. We have our input right here, and our output right there. Hop back in here. Now, in the distance directly in front of me, that is the general store sell point. In this bay right here is the general store bay 1 sell point. And then over here we have the general restaurant sell point right there. Now, a lot of these sell points are fenced in. You do have to walk up to them and open them. We'll go ahead and get turned around, or not turn around, but head down south. We're heading back towards our main farm. And again, you just get these massive, massive fields that are gonna provide just so much time and effort to do anything with them. I could only imagine having to do like a potato contract or a, you know, red beets or any kind of root crop is going to be a long and arduous task every single time. Now we'll stop here, we'll hop out, open this gate, and we continue out west from our main farm. Oh, nope, I accidentally missed some things. Let's turn back around just real quick. We gotta take in a few more sites just past the farm. Almost forgot about those. All right, here we go. So, as I was saying before, one of the biggest differences between 22 and 25 are where the animals are placed. Off to my right, this used to be a sheep pasture right here in this little opening there. So that is a huge, huge difference. Now we do have AI helper, AI helper Walter in the distance right over there. He's kind of staring off at us. Hop back in, down the road just a little ways. And just back here, we have AI helper David. And down at the end of this path, directly in front of me, is AI helper Ben. Now, if we head down to the end of this lane, to right in here. Now, again, these are some more differences. Over here, in the directly in front of me, that is AI helper Noah. Now, a couple of things to point out if we go to the map and check out where we've been and what we've seen up to this point. So, we started out pretty much right here at our sleep trigger. We then came across the street where we took in the cow barn, the silo, the fuel tank, there's a remove junk trigger that I will show here in just a little while. Head up this lane here, across over to our second farm where we took in the liquid fertilizer, as well as the, wait, what was this? Oh, more junk. Okay, sorry, more junk. Over here, we had the fuel tank and the silo for this farm, as well as a repair trigger. We then took the tractor down, all the way down this road here, where we saw the shop trigger, repair trigger, the couple of sell points here for the farm store bales, the farm store bay 1 and the farm store bay 2. Came back out, up this lane, over and around to the sawmill, over to the general store sell point, the general store bay 1, and the general restaurant. Came back down, we started going this way, turned back around, and now we saw AI helper Walter, AI helper David, AI helper Ben, then out to here to AI helper Noah. Now, if we take a look at farmland number 40, you can see here you can buy it for $4,055. We'll go ahead and do so. And you see chickens are now available on this plot, and all these things now pop up. Now, in order to access the marker for the chickens, normally you just stand right over top of it. It gives you the door icon for some reason, but if you go a little bit further right up into the gate, you'll see open animal dialogue. We can click on that. We have room for 30 chickens. Our feed input is right there, and our eggs will spawn right in that corner over there where the hazard marker is. Now, over here is another thing of note. If you were to buy farmland number 37 for $44,112, we'll go ahead and do that. A new marker pops up, and that is for removing these horse items. So again, like I was saying, there's a bunch of differences here. The horse barn used to be right in this general area, right on top of that little mound right there. That's no longer there. There used to be a pig pasture right on the other side of the horse pasture. It was like kind of subdivided out to where that was a thing. It used to be actually field 3, I think, that used to have the pig pasture in it. So tons of changes here on 25 compared to 22. We'll go ahead and hop back in the tractor, get turned around, and now we'll head down where we were originally going before we got to here. So we're just going to backtrack down this lane. And now we're heading the right way. One of the things that you'll notice is all the intense and rich sounds all throughout this map. There are so many things to listen out for. It is just absolutely amazing. So yeah, not this field, not field 2, but field 3. That used to be the pig pasture, and it was all custom built and all that. Now it's just a normal field, which is, totally fine. We'll continue to follow this road down and around. Follow this up to the north. Could have followed it down to the south. It really doesn't matter either way. As you can see, it kind of links back up. The areas to my left and right, those have changed. Both of these are now forest areas, which is really cool. So if you want to do some tree harvesting, there's plenty of trees tucked away in those two pastures there, or those two farmlands. A little bit of overgrowth here from the grass, which, you know, there are some issues for this map. There's definitely one or two issues that you're going to have to either look around and deal with, or just wait for the updates to come out. And I'm sure there will be updates. Directly in front of me, that is the Garden Center sell point, and in front of that is the Garden Center Bales sell point. Right here, again, denoted by a bale being right next to it, and the different style of trigger over top of it. Open this fence here. So now we got a bit of driving to do for our next point of interest. Oops. Gotta be careful on these narrow bridges right here. Very easily fall off of them and get stuck or go toppling end over end. So as we come up to the road here, we're going to make a left. And again, we're going to go into first person because of that kind of canopy of trees that lines the road. Just makes it a little bit easier to see where you're going. And you really get that kind of feel of being on a backcountry road because you can see all the jiggling and wiggling that the tractor is. It's just that kind of washboard feeling to the road. It just really feels real. Coming up ahead of us here is just a nice little detail. It's nothing important or anything like that to show off, but it is just really, really nice. I believe it's a church right up here to my right, and the noises that play right up here will start to slow down so we can hear some of it. The road, see how it kind of splashes right here? I think this is another thing that's going to need to be fixed because during certain times of the year, this area actually floods and it just hides the water texture, and I don't think this is supposed to do this. But if you can kind of hear the... Let me... You can kind of hear it every little bit. Right there. You can barely hear it. It's like the music playing inside the building. The organ music that's playing. It's hard to hear it over the birds. The birds are a little bit loud. But yeah, you can see that kind of water splashing texture. That's definitely something that's going to need to be addressed for the future. But yeah, the road floods during certain times of the year. I think it's during, not fall, I think it's springtime when it floods out, and you'll be able to, you know, drive through a big puddle and it gives you that water splash effect. So like I said, there's going to be things that are going to need to be addressed. The map maker is going to have to come back and work on a few things. But I don't see any, I haven't seen anything that's been so devastatingly bad that would prevent me from playing this map right this second. I haven't yet to find anything. Go ahead and go back into first person so we're not hugging the road in third person and just seeing the tail end of the tractor. So now coming up here, you'll see the next set of interests. Now over here, Come to a stop. Here we have the animal dealer. You can come to this location and purchase your animals for your farm, and all you do is you come in here and you click on the animal dialog box and you'll be able to purchase them directly. You can also use this same exact icon at any pens and pastures you have around the map. As you saw, I was able to do it with the chicken pasture as well as the cow barn. Now, if you use these icons directly, though, it will occur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. If we come back in here, you'll see down at the bottom right-hand corner, it lists the price per cow, the fee that's being charged, and the total cost for the animal. So for an adult cow, it's $100 per adult cow. If I were to fill up my entire barn with... Wait, what? Oh, no, sorry about that. If I were to fill up my entire barn, it would cost me $63,750 and $5,000 for a delivery fee. That's going to be a lot of money, especially if you're just starting out. So to save money, you can either come over here and bring a animal trailer, if it's cheaper than the delivery fee, load up and drive back and forth until you have all the animals you want for your specific pen or pasture. Again, another FS25 detail are the live animals here on the animal dealer. Absolutely love that. And directly in front of me, we also have AI helper Katie. Now, actually, we'll just walk over. We won't hop back in the tractor. Directly in front of me is the farmer's market sell point. And tucked away in here, if we open this, to my left is the Allsphere store sell point. And here, the Allsphere Bales sell point. And now we're going to go ahead and hop back in and get to our last set of interest. And there's a little something to note over there I'm not 100% certain about. You know what? I'll show you when we get there. So we come up to this little junction. We'll make a right. As we continue to follow this along, get a big grass field to my right, another large grass field to the left. I mean, these would make for really good placeable areas if you wanted to, or you can just use them for grass and have a complete and utter silage empire. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you'd be able to do with this. Now, coming up here to the curve, we'll go ahead and round it. And you can see all the points of interest are coming up on the map directly in front of me there. So now we'll pull in here and make a left. And that kind of thing that I was alluding to is right over here. Directly in front of me, you'll see Debris Crusher LTD. And you can see there's a dump trigger here, or at least a dump sign that's here. So this should be the Debris Crusher. Now, if I go into the menu here under, not crops, yeah, right here. Under prices, scroll all the way down to stones. Right there, stones. Debris Crusher, distance 0. This is what kind of worries me about this. There's no buy point for this. This is a sell point. $148 per 1,000 liters for your stones. It makes sense. Now, the reason I point this out is because normally you have distances and you have the ability to tag where the sell point is on the map. That one you didn't. And not only that, but if we take a look at the map, there's nothing here. There's nothing to indicate that there's a sell point here. So I don't know if this is, again, something else that needs to be updated, something that may be broken. I don't even know if this is a functional sell point. I mean, it might be. I'm not sure. Over here, we have the Cotswold Bales sell point, the Cotswold Store sell point, and the Cotswold Farmers Market sell point. And now the last point of interest, directly behind this fence, as you can plainly see is the biogas plant. Again, this is the second production point on this map, and both of them you own. You can see the bottom right hand corner, you can see all the missing materials and all that. We go here, and yeah, it's ready for use. Our solid inputs go in the bunk, liquid inputs right here, and liquid outputs, aka digestate, is right here. And that's it. That is everything here on Calmsden Farm. Now, a couple other things I noticed that were kind of issues. So if I just kind of go to the map and I go over to, let's see, this area over here. I'm going to fast travel to the general restaurant. Now, one of the first gates I came to was this one here. If I walk up to this and close the gate, I'll go into first person view and run at the gate, run right through the gate. So that's something I noticed right away. I was able to just kind of breeze right through the gate. All the other gates I run into, they have collisions. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just this one I've ran into that had issues. Some other issues that I ran across, like I said, was the debris crusher. There was just all these little things. Nothing of terrible, like, game-breaking quality as best as I could tell up until this point. Other than that, now it's time to rate this map. Let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. I love this map. 5 out of 5. I'm not even going to hide the ball on it. I love it. Even with all the flaws that I have been able to find up in this point, and there, like I said, there's quite a few little things here and there. Even with that all being said, this map is spectacular. It's gorgeous. Everywhere you look, you just want to like stop and stare off in the distance because of just how beautiful some of these areas can be. I mean, wow. Just wow. And not only that, but the kind of nice array from, you know, small to huge size fields. Again, the largest one I think is like 60 acres for one field. That's going to be massive. And I remember in FS22 when I played this map, I used to come out to, I think it was this field and this field here, and I would be doing potato harvest, and it would take a day, like a solid real life day of just sitting there waiting, going around and around and around the field. It was nuts, but I loved it. I loved every second of it because just look how gorgeous this map is. And I think that the beauty is just infinitely better in this version than in the previous version. I am slightly disappointed with the kind of animals are no longer where the animals were, like the sheep, like the pigs, the horses. I'm not a huge horse person, so it is what it is for that. But the horse training grounds were still left behind, which I don't understand. Like, if you're not going to have the horse pasture unless we're expected to just install it ourselves kind of thing, which is fine, that's not a big deal, but why leave that stuff there if the horse barn isn't there? Now, again, I don't know if potentially it's supposed to be there, and it just, with all the issues that seems to have, you know, come through, just isn't working properly. Maybe that's just another issue. I'm not 100% certain. But, yeah, no, I mean, even with that, if that was an issue, or if it wasn't an issue and it's done on intention, then it is what it is. I still think this is a lovely map, and it's just going to take a matter of time for it to be perfect. And, yeah, I just think it's just fantastic. At the end of the day, 5 out of 5, like I said, no ifs, ands, or buts. We go through here, there's a couple more things I want to show, but they're not the normal style of stuff that I show. But we'll go back towards the farm, which is right over here. Now, big difference too is that this used to be a field that you could harvest. I think it was like barley in FS22. This was a field that you could buy that was grass over here, and you know, you own this side of the road and the right side of the road. The cows used to be able to go in the field, like I said. Now they're restricted specifically to the barn. They don't roam into the pasture, which again is not a huge deal. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is this trigger right here. You can see remove junk from yard. You can sell this, and what it'll do is it'll take all these little like junk pieces, the trailer, the cement mixer, all this stuff around this portion of the farm, and just delete it and just completely get rid of it. And I'll show you two different ways that you can do this. So one, the sell within the map, you can do that. For $0, you can remove the junk, and as you can see, it's gone. It's all gone. There's a bunch of just junk piled up over next to the building over there. That's now gone. And then if I hop back in here and head back towards the other farm, or I'm sorry, towards the chickens, I'll show you the other portion I was talking about, the other method to be able to do this. So if we make a left, we just go straight ahead. And we'll go over towards the horse training grounds. And that'll be kind of the secondary portion. So the first one you're able to just sell from the map. You can also sell from the map from this one as well. But you can also, if we stop, go into the build mode, go into enter demolition mode, and then click on A. It says, do you want to remove the horse items? Say yes, and you can see everything here is now deleted. It's just left with this kind of, path, this walking path that the horses would kind of churn up and, rut out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this map. I absolutely love it. I'm disappointed with a couple of the changes, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it whatsoever. I think this is absolutely brilliant. And the FS25 touches that come along specifically with this game compared to games in the past, the FS22, I mean, just the trees make this map look so much like richer, fuller, and more beautiful. I mean, oh, I just cannot just gushing over this map. And what's also really cool about this map as well are the specific contracts that you can get. Look at these values for these contracts. Bale wrapping, $35,000, $50,000, $29,000 for baling, almost $30,000 for baling. You've got a $36,000 fertilizing contract for this one here. You got a $20,000 harvesting contract. That's huge. That's big bucks to do a wheat harvest. And you're going to get product left over. You got a $5,000 weeding contract there. You've got some mowing contracts, plowing for $6,000. I mean, you can make some big money really quick. Look at that. That's 60 grand almost for 2 contracts for weeding. I mean, wow. And then you get all the 25 touches like rock removal. You get the wood transports. I mean, what's not to love? At the end of the day, this is a 5 out of 5. Absolutely love it. Even with the issues that I pointed out. Oh, and there's one more. And this one I actually got startled by. Yeah, something actually startled me in game. It was quite hilarious. I do want to show this one off. I almost forgot to show this. So coming back to this portion of the farm. Let's go ahead and stop right here. And we're in first person. I specifically want to go into first person for this. If we walk up, you can open these sheds, like this door here. I showed you how you can open these doors here. You can also open this door here if you walk up to it and boop. Oh, wait a minute. Where'd the door go? What happened? Let's try that again in third person. Huh. Shwam, you see that? And you actually heard the kind of what sounded like the slamming. Like, watch this. Almost sounds like a shed door sliding open. Like, I don't know what's the story with this, but you can see it's like hanging out there in the sky. It's, again, it's an issue. It's a flaw. It's a problem. It's a bug. It needs to be fixed. But, I mean, how often are you going to come and, try and open this door to get in there? I mean, I don't see, like, unless you're doing stories and stuff like that, even ever going in there. It's not a huge deal. It's small stuff, so a little bit of TLC, a little bit of refinement, cleanup, and be good to go. But look at this view. I mean, just absolutely beautiful view. Everywhere you look, there's just something just prettier than the last. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Good job on making this map. Oxygendavid, thank you so very much. And I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show him by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy doing. The show is engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.